So, hi, and I am Joshua Perot. So, today I'm gonna discuss the activity 4 for the midterm called the student grade book system. So, first I'm gonna show you the output. So, here's the output. So, I have here the adding a new student. So, I'm gonna add a new student named Kurapika, and then his math grade is 89. 89, then an English grade of 95, and a science grade of 94. So I'm gonna add here. So as you can see, it displays here, and then I'm gonna search uh, a specific student so that it only displays the student here. So I'm gonna choose here the Kilua Zuldik here. So it displays here the only the name that I search. So if I search another, let's say here, so it it shows no student because there's no student na named na Joshua. And then let's go back. So first, and then here it displays this Kurapika as the top performer, which is um he averaged the highest of them all, which is here the 92.67. So here, and then next I'm gonna show you the code. So first of all, the code, creating your the PHP code block, and then first is to create a variable students, and ano array named students to containing two students. So the two students here is this. So first, each student has a name and subjects. So also the subject has an array, and with an array that has a key math here and the value of 89, which is the grade. Then the math here is the subject, and then same with here the English and 82, the key and the value. Same with here science and 85, and then same also here for the second student, the with has an subject na array also, and then here the his subjects and then his grades. And next here is to calculate the total grades of the students. So return array sum and grades and divided into count grades. So it adds all the grades here for the sum, and then divided by the count grade. So in its here count grade is to count the total grades for each student. So here it's the student here has a total of 3 grades. So the value of this will be the three, and it helps you calculate an average of a grade of the grade. And next here is to function. And next function here is to get the remarks of the students. So if their total average is greater than or equal to 75, um, it displays the pass na grade remarks, and then if it's not, it displays the failed na remarks. And then next is here. This function here is to to format the student names into uppercase. So here, here the str, t outer, I out, str, and upper, then name. It is to format the uppercase, the name, and then here this function add students for the parameter of students name and subjects. So um the and before the students means it passed by a reference, and then so the changes affect the original array. So here displays in here the subjects students arrayed in the an array also here. Then next is the function search students. So first it defines a search student function. This is to find the students whose name match and whose name match the search name. So here I'm like declaring here the parameter, and then the results of an array here. Then for the loop, it loops through each student and uses the stripes here, and then stripe post, sorry, and then it is to check if the search name exists, and then exists, and if not, it receives a false, and then matching the students are added to results dion, which is na return na siya. And then next here, for this next function, it is to get the top performer or the um, highest average na student. Then here it defines the top get top performer na function to find the highest average. Then it loops through the each student and calculate their average here, and get and updates the top student na variable, and if it's the highest na nakita so far here. And the next is the here the if condition here. So it checks the if the form was submitted using the post na method here. So if the I set is an open parenthesis post, then add student. So here is displays the yun here the name, then equals to here in the name student name, the math na subject English, and then science. So if the add students button was clicked, then it retrieves the form data and name and grades. Dayon it converts na dayon dire. Ma-convert nun siya dire. So converts the grades to kana dayon integers and calls the add student dayon here. Call na niya to add na dayon na sa ang new na student. And for this here the query, and then it sets the search query to empty by default, and then displays here the students with equals of the students. So initially contains na student na siya, and then if get na request with search exists, then it stores na search query na, then add then for the filters it displays here the display student, and then using the search na student here. And the next is here for the HTML and CSS file. Um, Here starting here the HTML document and says browser title, which is here the student grades, and then here for the CSS declaring a style tag, So it displays here the font text font na monoscope, monospace, and then with a white background, then text color na black or dark, and with a padding of 20 by X. And then here the student for the student. So it cards here the white background, the padding, the rounded na corners, the border radius for the rounded corners, then the margin, then a shadow, dark shadow. And here for the it sets the color to green and small button margin. So calling it H2. Then for the subject, I colored it orange or brown, I think. And then I'm colorblind. And then then for the remarks na pass, I colored it green. And then font of bold. Then the remarks of failed, colored it red. And text of bold. And then here for the line, I create a horizontal divider line to under the student's name here, color of gray. And then for the form, it styles the form boxes with white background, padding and rounded na corners, and then spacing and the shadow. And for the input, um, I colored it padding with a 5px. Here the margin with 5px, then rounded corners of 4px, and then a border of white, gray, color gray. And for the button, I use it 5px and 10px na padding. Then I background it with green. Then color na white for the text, and then border of declaring no border, and then the border radius. Then for px, then cursor niya is pointer if it is point na nasa kan sa button. Then I'd also declared it hover for the button, which is color green. And for next is here the body, which is H1 here, add student. So this is to to display the add new student na form. So it inputs here the name and grades. And required means cannot submit empty. So required siya kay ano you cannot submit saan the student if empty ang this butang na input. Then adding here the button na to add student. And next is here each one's search student. It is to search the uh, students by name. So input prefills and with the search query here, and then clicking the search filters students here. And then next is here. So for this now it's so task. So I'm gonna discuss it short. So first, so if the display na student is empty, it shows that no students are found. Is found. So if else if na student na kita, so it displays the yun here. So it displays students as students. So name name in uppercase here. Here, and then subjects with grades here. displays here the subject with grades, the average here, total average, and then here is the remarks. So remarks is lowercase lang siya. Okay, remarks man siya. Dili man siya dili siya student's name. And then here then next is to this is also to end the div here and to end this PHP. And then next is here is so as you can see here it calls the top performer student. So it's calls to get the best na student. So it is called to which is student has a highest average, total average. Then it displays here their name, the student name, and to top performer, then top performer, then their name here, and then the average here. Um, in, okay, so that's all. And so here the fun, the ano, output. So as you can see here, the top performer here is Kurapika, which is average of 92.67 grade. So that's all, and thank you.